वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज का टॉपिक है माइक्रोब्स इन ह्यूमन वेलफेयर। वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए और बेल आइकन को प्रेस कर दीजिए ताकि आगे आने वाली वीडियोस का नोटिफिकेशन आपको टाइमली मिल सके। तो वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। Microbes as biofertilizers. With our present day lifestyles, environmental pollution is a major cause of concern. The use of the chemical fertilizers to meet the ever increasing demand of agricultural produce has contributed significantly to this pollution. Of course, we have now realized that there are problems associated with the overuse of chemical fertilizers, and there is a large pressure to switch to organic farming, the use of biofertilizers. Biofertilizers are organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. The main sources of biofertilizers are bacteria, fungi, and cyanobacteria. You have studied about the nodules on the roots of leguminous plants formed by the symbiotic association of rhizobium. These bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen into organic forms, which is used by the plant as nutrient. Other bacteria can fix atmospheric nitrogen while free living in the soil, thus enriching the nitrogen content of the soil. Nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituents of all living organisms as part of proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acid, and vitamins. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Nitrogen is then used for the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. Animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogenous wastes into nitrogenous compounds to be used by plants again. Certain other bacteria convert some part of them to nitrogen gas, which goes back into the atmosphere. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. Fungi are also known to form symbiotic associations with plants. Mycorrhiza. Many members of the genus Glomus form mycorrhiza. The fungal symbiote in these associations absorbs phosphorus from soil and passes it to the plant. Plants having such associations show other benefits also, such as resistance to root-borne pathogens, tolerance to salinity and drought, and an overall increase in plant growth and development. Cyanobacteria are autotrophic microbes widely distributed in aquatic and terrestrial environments, many of which can fix atmospheric nitrogen. In paddy fields, cyanobacteria serve as an important biofertilizer. Blue-green algae also add organic matter to the soil and increase its fertility. Currently in our country, a number of biofertilizers are available commercially in the market, and farmers use these regularly in their fields to replenish soil nutrients and to reduce dependence on chemical fertilizers. Medicinal use of microorganisms. Whenever you fall ill, the doctor may give you some antibiotic tablets, capsules, or injections, such as of penicillin. The source of these medicines is microorganisms. These medicines kill or stop the growth of the disease causing microorganisms. Such medicines are called antibiotics. These days, a number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria and fungi. Streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin are some of the commonly known antibiotics, which are made from fungi and bacteria. The antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms and are used to cure a variety of diseases. Microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for the large scale production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol and wine. For this purpose, yeast is grown on natural sugars present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, crushed fruit, juices, etc. Making of curd and bread. Curd contains several microorganisms. Of these, the bacterium Lactobacillus promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese, pickles, and many other food items. An important ingredient of rava, idlis, and baturas is curd. Bacteria and yeast are also helpful for fermentation of rice, idlis, and dosa batter. Yeast reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during respiration. Bubbles of the gas fill the dough and increases its volume. This is the basis of the use of yeast in the baking industry for making breads, pastries, and cakes. Sewage water. Treatment of wastewater involves physical, chemical, and biological processes which remove physical, chemical, and biological matter that contaminates the wastewater. Wastewater is passed through bar screens. Large objects like rags, sticks, cans, plastic packets, napkins are removed. Water then goes to grit and sand removal tank. The speed of the incoming wastewater is decreased to allow sand, grit, and pebbles to settle down. The water is then allowed to settle in a large tank which is sloped towards the middle. Solids like feces settle at the bottom and are removed. This is the sludge. A skimmer removes the floatable solids like oil and grease. Water so cleared is called clarified water. The sludge is transferred to a separate tank where it is decomposed by the anaerobic bacteria. The biogas produced in the process can be used as fuel or can be used to produce electricity. Air is pumped into the clarified water to help aerobic bacteria to grow. Bacteria consume human waste, food waste, soaps, and other unwanted matter still remaining in clarified water. After several hours, the suspended microbes settle at the bottom of the tank as activated sludge. The water is then removed from the top. The activated sludge is about 97% water. The water is removed by sand, drying beds, or machines. Dried sludge is used as manure, returning organic matter and nutrients to the soil. The treated water has a very low level of organic material and suspended matter. It is discharged into a sea, a river, or into the ground. Nature cleans it up further. Sometimes it may be necessary to disinfect water with chemicals like chlorine and ozone before releasing it into the distribution system. Biogas production. Biogas is a mixture of gases produced by the microbial activity and which may be used as a fuel. You have learned that microbes produce different types of gaseous end products during growth and metabolism. The type of the gas produced depends upon the microbes and the organic substrates they utilize. In the example cited in relation to fermentation of dough, cheese making, and production of beverages, the main gas produced was carbon dioxide. However, certain bacteria which grow anaerobically on cellulosic material produce large amount of methane along with carbon dioxide and hydrogen. These bacteria are collectively called methanogens, and one such common bacterium is Methanobacterium. These bacteria are commonly found in the anaerobic sludge during sewage treatment. These bacteria are also present in the rumen, a part of stomach of cattle. A lot of cellulosic material present in the food of cattle is also present in the rumen. In rumen, these bacteria help in the breakdown of cellulose and play an important role in the nutrition of cattle. Thus, the excreta, that is the dung of cattle, commonly called gobar, is rich in these bacteria. Dung can be used for generation of biogas, commonly called gobar gas. The plant has a dome-like structure built with bricks. A slurry of cow dung and water is made in the mixing tank from where it is fed into the digester. The digester is a sealed chamber in which there is no oxygen. Anaerobic microorganisms that do not require oxygen decompose or break down complex compounds of the cow dung slurry. It takes a few days for the decomposition process to be complete and generate gases like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and hydrogen sulfide. The biogas is stored in the gas tank above the digester from which they are drawn through pipes for use. Biogas is an excellent fuel as it contains up to 75% methane. It burns without smoke, leaves no residue like ash in wood, charcoal, and coal burning. Its heating capacity is high. Biogas is also used for lighting. The slurry left behind is removed periodically and used as an excellent manure, rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. The large scale utilization of bio waste and sewage material provides a safe and efficient method of waste disposal besides supplying energy and manure. Microbes as biocontrol agents. Biocontrol refers to the use of biological methods for controlling plant diseases and pests. In modern society, these problems have been tackled increasingly by the use of chemicals, by use of insecticides and pesticides. These chemicals are toxic and extremely harmful to human beings and animals alike and have been polluting our environment. Fruits, vegetables, and crop plants. Our soil is also polluted through overuse of weedicides to remove weeds. Biological control of pests and diseases. In agriculture, there is a method of controlling pests that relies on natural predation rather than introduced chemicals. A key belief of the organic farmer is that biodiversity furthers health. The more variety a landscape has, the more sustainable it is. The organic farmer therefore works to create a system where the insects that are sometimes called pests are not eradicated but instead are kept at manageable levels by a complex system of checks and balances within a living and vibrant ecosystem. Contrary to the conventional farming practices, which often use chemical methods to kill both useful and harmful life forms indiscriminately, this is a holistic approach that seeks to develop an understanding of the webs of interaction between the myriad of organisms that constitute the field fauna and flora. The organic farmer holds the view that the eradication of the creatures that are often described as pests is not only possible but also undesirable, for without them, the beneficial, predatory, and parasitic insects which depend upon them as food or host would not be able to survive. Thus, the use of biocontrol measures will greatly reduce our dependence on toxic chemicals and pesticides. An important part of the biological farming approach is to become familiar with the various life forms that inhabit the field predators as well as pests and also their life cycles, patterns of feeding, and the habitats that they prefer. This will help develop appropriate means of biocontrol. The very familiar beetle with red and black markings, the ladybird, and the dragonflies are useful to get rid of aphids and mosquitoes, respectively. An example of microbial biocontrol agents that can be introduced in order to control butterfly caterpillars is the bacteria Bacillus, often written as BT. These are available in sachets as dried spores, which are mixed with water and sprayed onto vulnerable plants such as brassicas and fruit trees, where these are eaten by the insect larvae. In the gut of the larvae, the toxin is released and the larvae get killed. The bacterial disease will kill the caterpillars but leave other insects unharmed. Because of the development of methods of genetic engineering in the last decade or so, the scientists have introduced bee senses toxin genes into plants. Such plants are resistant to attack by insect pests. Bt cotton is one such example which is being cultivated in some states of our country. A biological control being developed for use in the treatment of plant disease is the fungus Trichoderma. Trichoderma species are free living fungi that are very common in the root ecosystems. They are effective biocontrol agents of several plant pathogens. Baculoviruses are pathogens that attack insects and other arthropods. The majority of baculoviruses used as biological control agents are in the genus Nucleopolyhedrovirus. These viruses are excellent candidates for specific narrow spectrum insecticidal applications. They have been shown to have no negative impacts on plants, mammals, birds, fish, or even on non-target insects. This is especially desirable when beneficial insects are being conserved to aid in an overall integrated pest management program or when an ecologically sensitive area is being treated. सो गाइज ये था आज का टॉपिक। आई होप आपको वीडियो पसंद आई होगी। प्लीज़ इसे लाइक एंड शेयर ज़रूर कीजिए। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।